make it a little bit different. I'll try to use my 10 minutes,
Okay.
or even less. But before I go from the end to the beginning, just want to tell you thank you so much, Nick, for having me today. And I want to tell everyone else that is watching now that I've been knowing Nick for quite a while, and I don't even have words to describe him. I personally call him a hub, a router, an informator, a connector, so many titles. If you want to know anything in the industry, you have to follow Nick. He is your guy. So no doubt. I know you're doing the hell attacks with all the VAT and everything, but this is definitely not the only thing you're doing. You're doing so many things. Just wanted to share with everyone. I'm a little bit, as you can hear, not in my best. I guess I was shouting too much in the last couple of days, not for bad reason though. Anyway, so I wanted to share with you about retail. So basically what I do for the last 2 decades or more is working with department stores in the USA. I personally live in Israel, but I work remotely with them the same way that I did when I was living in China for 7 years and other places in Asia for 12 years. So it's easier from Israel because it's only between 6 and 7 hours of a gap between Eastern and Western coast. I want to share with you guys today and start, as I mentioned, from the end to the beginning. So this is how a purchase order from a retailer looks like. So this is from January. Was supposed to be shipped on February. Unfortunately, we shipped it only about a week and a half ago. That's why it popped up to my head when Nick invited me here. Big Lots. If we Google Big Lots, which this is their website, they have around 1,300 stores in the USA. I think I just opened that as I was watching the other guys here talking. So 1,392 stores, which is nice little company, probably a good one to work with. And this is their website. If you take a look at yourself, you will see all kind of different department stores and everything. And going back, you see my screen, right? If you don't, just let me know. Anyway, so you have the vendor, you have everything, all the information. It's a tiny test order of 15,000 pieces, $95,000. This is how the terms looks like. You know what? Yeah. Nobody reads those terms. They are too small to read. Anyway, I don't have my glasses here, but in short, I can tell you that basically when you get a purchase order from a retailer, usually the terms are being marked, the important ones are being marked by email, meaning they're going to tell you how the purchase order is going to look like, what the prices are, they're going to negotiate the price. And the good news and the good thing about retail is that you don't talk with Seller Central, you don't talk with AI, you don't talk with machines, documents, and all this stuff. You talk with people. It's an old school kind of business. So yes, they have their systems. There's an EDI. If you don't know what EDI is, just Google it. I don't want to waste your time here. Yeah, those kind of companies, they work with buyers, and buyers are like, it's like going to the market buying fish and vegetables. It's always negotiable. There's always, a communication between you and the buyer. You don't just get no purchase order will fall from the sky on your head telling, hey, you need to ship that. It doesn't happen like that. They negotiate with you how long it's going to take you, not negotiate, but just make sure with you how long you need for shipping and everything. There's so much information of how to get into the situation where you get a purchase order from a retailer. But let me just give you a quick overview. I was just looking at that correspondence in my email with this specific buyer on this purchase order. So here you see there's a lot of correspondences, but I'm going to take a look at this one, which was the original one. Only 62 emails, not a big deal. We're just laughing. December 6th on 2023 is when my team approached that retailer and they were interested. They were saying, hi, thank you for your email. Let's discuss the next steps. So I'm going to do it very fast just for you guys. Once they're interested, they either ask for samples or they ask for a phone call, a Zoom call, whatever it is. Okay. Normally it's going to be, a Zoom call. That's what works for everyone. This guy here, Jaskirat from Rainforest, is a customer of our company. He's been corresponding directly with the buyer, telling him like, let's, set a time and everything. And then he send them like what inventory they have available. Moving forward, it's a week later on December 14, and then they keep on discussing. I'm gonna run forward as fast as possible just so that you see the important points in negotiating. So Cronis, which Costas, I mean, the buyer, it says, great, we'll have the first, we're going to set you up as a vendor. They just spoke a day or two before that email. Now they're going to talk about how to do the business. And they're telling him because the vendor was asking if they can get upfront payment, which is totally not normal in retail. So normally I would sit in webinars like this and I would explain into details why they don't pay upfront and how is it guaranteed that you're gonna get paid. In short, you're gonna get paid. If you want to know more, just visit my YouTube channel, Retail Empire, and you'll hear there's a lot of videos I did there about this kind of stuff. But anyway, they're telling them like, let's set you up as a vendor and it's gonna be next 60. Next 60 means that you're gonna get paid 60 days after the goods arrives to their warehouse. If you want to do it earlier, there are tricks. There are things that you can do. You can give them some sort of discount, like 1% or 2%, and ask them in return to get you the money earlier. But usually it is what it is. You need to have some kind of capital when you work with retailers, but not huge. You can always use financial companies, which we call factor. Again, Factor Finance, just Google that. You're gonna see a lot of tons of information. I don't want to waste your time. I want to show you some, from the inside thing, correspondence of how to get that purchase order running from the vendor side of you and also from the buyer side of you. There are typical questions from the buyer side. This is another buyer called Jillian, and that buyer came into the conversation to do the setup. Now, a vendor setup is a normal process, again, old school. They're talking with you about Excels. There's no system. You don't need to upload your ID, VAT number, EIN, all of those stuff. And by the way, the vendor is from Malaysia. So you don't even need to be in the States to work with them, okay? Which is addressing a lot of other questions I've been running through down the road with the business I'm doing. So payment information, how you're going to get paid, your name, your email, whatever. Who is your best neighbor? Who do you love? How's your family life and so forth? I'm just getting here and trying to go back to normal view. Yeah, here it goes. And then the guy says, okay, we work on it and revert to you as soon as possible. Now you need to give them some time. It's a system. Imagine a system of almost 1,400 stores getting purchase orders for you. It's not just whatever, 5, 10 people of a company that they just click on the send an email and ask whomever to send the purchase order. They have to go through a process. Although it's old school, they still have processes. So it takes time. You have to be patient, and you don't want to nudge. You don't want to be, sitting on their neck and driving them crazy about your purchase order. It's going to come. Once they told you it's come, they're setting you up as a vendor. They saw the samples. You've been discussing all the details. The order is going to come. Just take it easy. Retail business is a slow but huge business, okay? That's why like a test order is gonna be $95,000, which is not huge, obviously, but it's a test. Yeah, I know the pricing is not that great here. It's $6 per unit. I'm not gonna talk about the products themselves. It's a complete different topic for another session. If I will have the honor to be in another session of Nick. Anyway, they are discussing, W-9 or W-8, which is the form for a US company or non-US company, which is also a correspondence about the other topic I just earlier mentioned. You don't need to have a US company. You can sell retailers in the USA, even if you are in Malaysia, India, wherever, Israel, wherever you are, Europe, and so forth. And as you can see, they're nice. They're sending you like, cute images and everything. And eventually, if I scroll down, they're going to tell them, okay, everything is ready. We have this sheet, we have that, we have this Excel, blah, blah, blah. And we're going to send you the purchase order. Now, what you need to know is that there's a language in retail. And by that, I'm going to wrap it up. There's a language in retail, and I've been talking about this in a lot of different webinars. You can watch them out there on Facebook, on Twitter, on whatever, mainly on YouTube as well. Again, Retail Empire on YouTube. And the language is terms. So if I'm not familiar with the terms, they're going to identify that and they're going to be afraid of doing business with me. So what do? I'm an online vendor. I don't know the terms. So you can either Google them or take a course or learn or whatever it is, or you can you can use our knowledge. And by the way, I'm not talking about using my knowledge as a service that I'm selling you or anything like that. Just use my knowledge by watching videos that I'm doing, because I'm talking about those terms all the time. Because I want people to be educated and to know what terms. For example, EDI, a very common first question from a buyer. They're asking you, are you EDI certified? Now, EDI is just a stupid CRM dumb system. It just sends you the purchase order, invoices, packing slip, and all this crap between you and the buyer. So why do we need that? We can send by email. That's how they like it, because they want to have a system where they can have everything in one place, and there's a record for everything. You cannot just say, hey, I sent you the email. It wasn't, I didn't receive that. No stuff like that. Anyway, EDI is one example. Other example is WSP, which stands for wholesale price. There's tons of, terms and languages, but eventually at the end of the day, they know that you're selling online and you're trying to hit the market in the offline market, which is brick and mortar. And for that, they're trying to test if you at least a little bit understand the language. One of the things about the language is to get familiar with line sheet. When they ask you for a line sheet, they want to see pricing and SKUs. They don't want to look at it in your website. Well, they already did, but now they want to know the wholesale pricing and basically, basic attributes of each and every SKU you have. So a line sheet would usually be sent as a PDF e-catalog. Okay, I'm saying PDF because you don't want to send any document, any Word document to buyers that are running, millions of dollars, because it wouldn't look good. That's it for now. I don't want to make it too long. Again, terms, you can hear it in my podcast. I just showed you a nice purchase order for a vendor who started to work with this with us in November. Back in December, they started to get purchase orders, and I think that if you look at the market, eventually there are almost 4 million physical stores in the USA. So you can sell on Amazon. It's great. It's good. There's no doubt. But then, I've seen tons of people waking up in the morning to a situation where, the listing is closed, or there's new rules, or a lot of stuff like that, a lot of restrictions, which is something that just doesn't happen when it comes to retail with physical stores, brick and mortar stores. That was my part. I hope I filled the 10 minutes or even less. And thank you so much, Nick, for having me today.